Good morning and a good Tanya. Today is Tuesday, the 18th day of Nisan. The 18th day of Nisan is the birthday of the Rebbe's father, Rabbi Yitzchak, who was the chief rabbi of Yekaterinoslav, Dnepropetrovsk, the way it's called, or Dnipro. And it is also the day of the Rebbe's bris, Yudches Nisan. So today we complete chapter 41 in Tanya. And the topic we're talking about today is the joy of the king when his only child, returns from captivity. We're talking about Hashem having the joy and pleasure that when a Jew comes back, returns, brings his neshama together to be reunited with Hashem himself after being in this physical low world in captivity and dirty and working completely subjugated to the evil and being released. When is it? When you study Torah, when you do a mitzvah. As you remember, yesterday we learned about experiencing heaven on earth. That the idea of the love that we have to Hashem, the connection that we connect to Hashem, returning our soul to Hashem. That's what we say first thing in the morning. That the neshama that Hashem gave in us, Hashem, Elokei neshama shenasata bi, Tohiroi is pure. You created it, you formed it, you blew it into me, and you are destined to take it away from me. And we asked the question, why do you mention this about returning? And the point is that what we are doing every single day is to make sure that the neshama returns to its creator. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to die. You can still live. When you live with Hashem, with the Torah, every moment you study the Torah, you are uniting your neshama with Hashem. When you do a mitzvah, and the same thing when you do the rest, the mundane things throughout the day, when you're doing it with the intention that you're doing it for the right purpose, you're working so you can earn money, so you can give tzedakah, and you can raise a family in a Jewish way, and so on and so forth, you are returning your soul to its creator. You're reuniting, taking it out from captivity. Now, here in today's lesson, the Rebbe says that when you're doing this mesirus nefesh, giving over your life to Hashem, your neshama to Hashem, what is it that you have in mind? So earlier in chapter 31, the Rebbe gave this example of a child, a lost prince that was in captivity and working in prison, grinding in the prison, grinding the wheat, and in dirty over there. And then one day the king comes and takes him out from prison. We were talking about the joy, but whose joy were we talking about? We were talking about the joy of the prince, the joy of the son, that he comes home. But there is not only a joy of the prince. Who else is joyous? The king himself. To have his child return. Whose joy is a greater joy? The father having his child back is certainly a greater joy. So the Alter Rebbe continues and says here now that when we're doing this mitzvahs and we have this in mind first thing in the morning, that what we're doing today, we're going to return our neshama to Hashem. We're doing a mitzvah, we're reuniting with Hashem. So we should have in mind, says Alter Rebbe, not just the joy, not your own joy. Keep in mind that this is the joy of the Father. That every time you do a mitzvah, you're causing tremendous joy to Hashem. That gives us a whole new perspective, a whole different meaning when you do a mitzvah. You're excited about the fact that Hashem is happy that you are doing the mitzvah, that the neshama that you possess, returns to its creator. So this, let's see inside the way the Alter Rebbe says this. Vehinde, says the Alter Rebbe, Kol kavanosoi b'mesiras nafshei LaHashem al yedei HaTorah v'Tefillah lehalis nitzitz elokus shebetzeicha lemekayre. Now, all one's intent in the surrender of his soul to God through Torah and prayer, to elevate the spark of godliness therein, that is in the soul, back to its source. What is the purpose? Says the Alter Rebbe, Tehei ra kedei lasos nachas ruach lefonav yisborich. This should be solely for the purpose of causing him gratification, causing Hashem gratification. Kemishal simchas hamelech bevoi elov benoi yechidoi betzeisoi min hashivya ubeiso asurim. Like the joy of a king when his only son returns to him after having been released from captivity or imprisonment. Kanis Kala'el has been explained earlier in chapter 31. And as we said there, we focus on the joy of the son, but here focuses more on the joy of the king. Now here, the Alter Rebbe goes on to explain something that is we spoke earlier, yesterday, the day before, about when we have this in mind, to have the real love to Hashem. So the ultimate way of having the love to Hashem is really should be truly for God himself, not for our own selfish reasons. What do I mean? Just like, for example, when a child with a father, a child wants to make the father happy. He loves his father or mother and wants to make them happy. Now, when the child does something for the father, what does he want? He wants you could say one way, one level is that all he cares is that by the father to be happy. It's not about himself. Whatever makes the father happy. So whether it's he's going to do something or his brother is going to do something, it doesn't matter as long as the father is happy. That's the ultimate connection and the ultimate love to the father. Then there is, and the lower level, the lowest level, is when you do it for selfish reasons. I want to be with my father because I love my father and I need my parents. I need it. I need it. So I want this closeness. So when I do something or I am connected, I'm close with them, it's because I need to fulfill my needs because I want my father next to me. And then there is a middle. The middle level. The middle level is when you love your father and you want to do something for your father, but you want your father to be happy because you did something. When your brother will do something or your sister will do something, it's not going to make you as happy because it's not you who brought the happiness to your father. So earlier, when we're talking about Hashem, the Alter Rebbe spoke about the levels of love to Hashem to fulfill what Hashem wants, not completely selfless. And that, Alter Rebbe says, is not everyone capable to reach that level. Only tzaddikim, righteous people, are able to be so selfless that to care only about Hashem. But here we're talking about also something that seems to be very similar. That when we're saying that when you have, what do you have to have in mind when you're uniting your soul to Hashem is the joy of the king. The joy of the king of having a son. So says the Alter Rebbe, this is the middle level. And that everyone has, being that every Jew has the natural love to Hashem inside. Therefore, that level of having in mind that Hashem enjoys my closeness to Hashem, that every person can achieve. You don't need to be a tzaddik to reach that level. This is what the Alter Rebbe says. Let's see inside. Now, this intent solely to bring gratification to God by returning one's own soul to God is genuine and truly and completely sincere in every Jewish soul. At all time and at every hour. Where does it come from? By virtue of the natural love, which is a heritage bequeathed to us by our ancestors. This is the natural love that we inherited from Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. The natural love that we have to Hashem. So therefore, this love is something that everybody can achieve. So until now, he speaks about the love that is achieved, that comes from the natural love that we have. But as you remember, earlier in the chapters, the Alter Rebbe explained that there is a higher level of love to Hashem, which comes as a result of meditation and thinking, not just revealing the instinctive love that we have, but also to develop deeper love through understanding the greatness of Hashem. This, we said, not everybody can achieve. Not everybody is capable of reaching that level. So lest you think that you're a lost cause and you shouldn't even try, says the Alter Rebbe, no matter what, you should try. Even though you think and people tell you that this is something that is not for you to achieve, you need to try. And that's what we're doing here. When you study Tanya, when you study Hasidus, the more you study, the more you understand, the more you're able to meditate. Not everybody can achieve great levels, but at least we try. And when we try, something perhaps sticks. And that is the conclusion of this chapter, says the Alter Rebbe. Nevertheless, one should not be satisfied merely with this level of service, but one needs to establish set periods for reflecting on the greatness of Hashem. In order to attain intellectually generated fear and love. And with all that, perhaps one may succeed in attaining such fear and love as has been stated previously. Thus, although one already possesses a hidden love of God, which enables him to study Torah and pray out of a readiness to surrender his very soul, he should still seek to attain the level of fear and love of God that is born of his own intellectual endeavor. So this is the end of this chapter, this beautiful chapter, that he was discussing the natural love that there is. He was discussing the fact that love alone is not enough. We need the love and the fear together, because the fear of Hashem is service of Hashem, love of Hashem. Perhaps maybe only your own service. You're not serving God, you're satisfying your own needs. You need to have both, and you need to have, and fear alone is also not enough. You need to have it with love also. You need to serve Hashem like a son serving a father, and like a servant serving a master. And that it makes the work complete. And ultimately, to have this in mind, that we're doing it for Hashem's sake, because every time you're doing a mitzvah, you're bringing this tremendous joy to the king, because the king sees the child coming out of prison. As it says, every time when a person comes to shul to daven, and one day that person didn't come to shul, says God is asking about him or her. He's asking about you. Where were you? Because Hashem misses this. Hashem wants us to be together, wants us to come to shul, wants us to do the Torah, to do the mitzvahs, and that brings the great joy to Hashem. This is the end of today's share. We'll continue Bezrat Hashem tomorrow. Don't forget to subscribe, share it, and invite friends to join us in the morning on Zoom at 9:15 every morning. All the best.